Okay, it's a little bit late in the day, but I wanted to try to get a video in today on two countries that I think that you might be interested in considering as far as residency by investment. And these are two really good residency by investment programs. They both have their disadvantages, so you kind of have to look at the advantages and disadvantages and decide which one you like the best. But both of them are on top of my list. There are some things I don't like about one of them, and I'll go through that with you. These two countries are St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which is in the Leeward Island chain. It's one of the prettiest areas in the Caribbean. The other one is Cyprus. Both of them have great year-round weather. There are some big stark differences though. One of them is, Cyprus has got a non-dom status, which means that you can come there and you only pay taxes on money that's remitted. And that non-dom status is only good for 17 years. Now you can apply for the passport after around 7 years. Okay, and the health care is actually a little bit better, actually quite a bit better than the other one, which is St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So those are some things that you have to look at. The weather is definitely better in St. Vincent, to me, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, than Cyprus. But the thing I don't like about Cyprus is the non-dom status. It ends after 17 years. And that's just something I just don't like. And also, it's part of the EU. They could change things and start taxing based on citizenship. You're never going to have that with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As I mentioned before, I think the EU is going to be the first series of countries, and I don't think they're going to do it individually. I think they're going to vote on all the countries as a whole, where if you're from one of those countries, they're going to start taxing you based on citizenship. And I don't think you'll ever see that with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So that's a key thing that you want to look at there. And St. Vincent has a territorial tax system in that, any business you do outside the country, you don't have to worry about this remittance basis and things like this with the non-dom. You're not taxed on any of your income outside the country, and I don't see that changing. In fact, they actually changed the tax laws even more so, being more conservative. I think it was around 2019 they did it, and they really drastically, what they started to do was they used to tax worldwide income, but they didn't enforce it. There was no way they can enforce it. So they realized they were losing so much business from it, because if they knew if they had it where you could, where it was in the law that they weren't taxing income outside the country, they could get big businesses to come in. And so they made that change, and it's really helped the economy there. So, it was really stupid having laws that you can't enforce. And then, see, big companies are not going to go there and cheat on the taxes. So, consequently, without these big changes that took place, they're keeping big business out, which just hurts employment. And that was a real smart move they made. So, this is a great place that's got really good visa-free travel. It doesn't have quite as many visa-free countries as Cyprus does, but I think you're going to have a lot more government in your life with Cyprus than by far, I don't think I know it, because it's part of the EU, than you would in a country like St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And these are houses too, by the way, in Frigate Bay. I wanted to show you these as we go and walk around, so you can kind of get a picture of what it looks like here. We're actually going to walk down on the golf course, some of the houses on the golf course. And yeah, you're going to get a lot of barking dogs. This is what happens when you live in a house. But you're going to have this any place you go if you got walls and dogs. But, all right, so anyway, what you want to try to do is to try to pick a country that allows dual. Remember, when you pick these residency by investment countries, you want to pick countries that allow dual citizenship that can literally get your taxes down to zero, and where you can, where they've got a good rule of law. You want to make sure they've got a good rule of law, and they don't have a dictatorship. I tell people, don't go to places that have dictatorships, especially if they don't allow dual citizenship, okay? And this is the problem that a lot of people just can't get in their heads. And you want to be able to get in a place where you can literally get your taxes down to zero. And you want to look at visa-free travel, because you want to be able to, go to as many places as you can go to. But visa-free travel is not always everything, because you have to look at those countries and examine the difference. If you're comparing three countries, you have to look at the countries that you maybe one country's got better tax laws than another one, but it has less visa-free travel. You have to look at those countries and determine, are you really going to go there? Does it really make that much difference? Is the tax advantages more important than the extra 10 countries that you're never going to go to anyway? So these are some major things that you need to look at. So I'm glad they got a wall there. So, these are some major things when you're looking at places and you're comparing them. And one of the things too is if you're living in the U.S. or Canada, St. Vincent's it's closer to fly to than going all the way to Cyprus, which is on the edge of Europe and in the Middle East. I mean, it's right on the edge of the Middle East. It's a long track to go there. So, I can tell you from doing a lot of traveling, it's nice to be, the older you get, it's nice to be able to go to places where you're not having to spend so much time traveling, and the cost goes up too a lot when you travel. So you want to pick the country that has, what you're looking for, but where is pretty close to travel to. If you got, especially if you have children that are not going with you, they're living back in the U.S. or Canada or someplace like this, you want to have accessibility where you can get back to see them, or they can come see you, where the cost is not real high. And I'll tell you something else too, is language. Man, I hit on this all the time. Cyprus, they said it's 70% people, and 70% of the people there speak English. You go to a place like St. Vincent, it's like 100%. And I'm going to tell you something, that I'd rather go to a place myself that speaks that more people speak fluent English. But St. Vincent and the Grenadines has a lot more people. It's like almost like 100%. I mean, you got some people from Venezuela, because it's real close to Venezuela there, maybe that don't speak English, but it's a real small number. It's a lot like St. Kitts. It's it's almost everybody speaks fluent English, so it makes it a lot easier to get things done and accomplished. So these are some really things that I would be looking at. I lived in Panama for 4 years, and I'm going to tell you something. When you can't speak that language, it can really drive you nuts. I mean, I've told people a story about the time I was in Dominican Republic, and I took the wrong medication because the doctor gave me the wrong medication. He misunderstood when I told him I had constipation. He thought I said diarrhea, so he gave me the opposite medication. I won't even begin to tell you what happened. It almost killed me. And this is what happens when you go to a place and you can't speak the language. It's extremely frustrating. It'll drive you nuts sometimes. So, I would tell you that these are the important things that I would be looking for when you pick a country. Now, again, the non-dom status ends in Cyprus in 17 years. So if you want, and then you're going to have citizenship at that point. So if you want the same tax advantages, then you're going to have to, at that point, move out and get the passport. You can apply for the passport in Cyprus in 7 years. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it's about 9 years. You're looking at about 2-year difference, okay? Not that much difference, but that's what we're talking about. Now, if you're the EU too, I've always said this before, that I think there's a problem with the EU coming out with this citizenship taxation, where they're going to be trying to hit you with taxing you on your worldwide income like the US has done. And I think the EU is probably going to be the next set of countries to do this. So, you know, this is one problem getting a passport in an EU country. You might have to pay a huge hefty tax as an exit tax if you want to get out of that one day. You're never going to see that with St. Vincent in the Grenadines. That's one thing I can tell you you'll never see. Also, folks, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button at the right of your screen. You'll get new videos automatically as they come out. And number 2 is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. Now, St. Vincent used to have a fast-track program. So did Cyprus. Both of them ditched it. Cyprus did it because they had so many corrupt people, and they had some bad dudes that came in that they had corrupt people with the government, and then they had bad dudes that came in that got the citizenship. They're going back on all these people now, and they're revoking a lot of those people. It's a real mess. And St. Vincent quit their fast-track program back when 9/11 occurred, and what happened was they never brought it back. There was a lot of opposition to the fast-track program. There's a lot of countries that don't want to just, you know, sell their passport, and this is what happened with St. Vincent. And one thing that's nice about that is if the EU ever goes after these countries that have these fast-track programs, it wouldn't affect St. Vincent because they don't have a fast-track program, so it wouldn't take away their visa-free travel to the Schengen countries. This is what a lot of the fast-track countries like St. Kitts and Dominica and Antigua, they're concerned about with all this Russia stuff going on with Ukraine. And whether that will come in where they will dissolve the Schengen countries with the fast-track programs, I don't know, or just give them a choice. But that's one thing about St. Vincent. You know, you don't have that sort of problem because they don't have a fast-track program. So, you know, I don't see them ever, you know, losing their visa-free status to the Schengen countries. So that's another good advantage of that. So, you know, these are some, you know, variables that I would be looking at carefully. Also, one other thing I want to tell you too is St. Vincent and the Grenadines is part of the Eastern Caribbean states. There's about 9 of these countries, and once you get citizenship in one of them, you automatically get residency with the right to work in the others. You literally don't even have to, like if you got St. Kitts citizenship, to give you an example, if you got citizenship in St. Kitts, for instance, and Nevis, it's part of the Eastern Caribbean states tied in with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So you could literally go and get residency in St. Vincent, and you could literally work there and literally not have to do any sort of paperwork there. Now, if you got a real specialty like medicine and stuff like this, then they might check. But if you're a citizen of St. Kitts and you're already a doctor in St. Kitts, whatever profession you are, it's transferable. You don't even have to do anything. You can literally just fly in, fly out. It's more lenient than being a member of an EU country and then wanting to work in another EU country. But they have this in the Eastern Caribbean states, so it's a real neat thing that you can get involved with. So if you're looking to actually get in one country, and in fact you can actually switch it to another. You can get citizenship in St. Vincent, and then if you want to switch to another country and do the same thing in the Eastern Caribbean states, you can do that too. Now, all the fast-track programs in the Caribbean are members of the Eastern Caribbean states. So And then you got some on top of that that don't have fast track programs that are also part of the Eastern Caribbean states also, like St. Vincent is one of them. So, you know, these are some big advantages if you're looking to, wanting to work in St. Vincent, whereas in a place like Cyprus, you would have to go through all kinds of steps and cost and stuff. Literally, it's almost nothing if you already have the passport in St. Kitts if you go to St. Vincent. Now, if you got a passport in St. Kitts and Nevis and you try to go to Cyprus, man, you're going to have to go through everything just like everybody else would have to do, okay? Which is a lot of stuff you would have to go through. Also filing your taxes and stuff like this, you've got a lot less stuff that you would have to do in St. Vincent and the Grenadines than Cyprus. You're going to have a lot more filing requirements and things like this. If that's a headache to you, you know, that's something you're going to have to look at too. And I'll be honest with you, St. Kitts, you can live in St. Kitts and literally not have to file one form unless you've got a local company. And that local company, you only have to file the tax once a quarter. And I'm going to tell you something, I'm not exaggerating on this, you can literally fill that form out, no joke, probably in 30 seconds to 45 seconds once you've done it a couple of times. That's how quick you can fill that form out. It's the most, and that's if you set up what's called an unincorporated business. And you're going to have similar type things in St. Vincent. The filing requirements are little to none, depending on what you're doing. So these are some things that if you're looking for total freedom, again, look for countries that offer second passports, that they allow you to have multiple passports, that have good visa-free travel, that can literally get your income taxes down to zero. These are the things that you want to look at. Non-domiciled countries, I would put that secondary. I would put countries that you don't have to, that don't have this non-dom status in the system. I think it's better, you're better off picking countries that you don't have that, because it's just more stuff that you're going to have to look at. And countries can do away with it. Like the UK is basically, they've whittled theirs down. It used to be unlimited, now it's 7 years. And you can see this with other countries too. Cyprus is one of them. Cyprus is a good choice. My suggestion is to go visit these countries, see which one you like the best, because my choice could be totally different than what yours is. I mean, I'm telling you the statistics, and then you have to take a trip, go over there, see how you like it, and then make your choice from there. That's the best way to pick any of these countries. Anyway, folks, if you want to learn more, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. And don't forget, hit the subscribe button, the right of your screen, that notification bell next to it. We got over 700 videos. This is where you pick up a lot of good tips that's going to help you. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below, and I'll look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.